Welcome. Today, we explore the real value of these super rare silver Washington quarter-dollar coins that could make you a millionaire. Let's get started. First up, the 1991 silver Washington quarter-dollar with large date and P mint mark in dirty condition. Stick around to find out its value in today's auction market. First off, let's take a quick look at the 1991 silver Washington quarter. This coin is part of the classic Washington series, first introduced in 1932 to honor the first president of the United States. The 1991 quarter is unique because it is part of a series of circulating quarters made primarily from a copper-nickel-clad composition, and the P mint mark indicates it was minted in Philadelphia. Show both sides of the coin, highlighting the Washington portrait on the obverse and the eagle design on the reverse with the mint mark visible. Though it's often considered a modern coin, it still holds some appeal to collectors, especially when looking at specific conditions and mint marks. So, what do we mean by dirty condition? A coin in dirty condition typically shows signs of dirt, grime, or discoloration that have accumulated over time, especially if the coin wasn't properly stored. These coins might have been exposed to moisture, dust, or other environmental factors, which could affect the appearance and overall luster. While this doesn't necessarily affect the coin's authenticity, it can decrease its overall appeal to collectors, especially those seeking pristine examples. Now, let's talk about its value in today's auction market. A 1991 Washington quarter in dirty condition with P mint mark generally sells for around $108. While it's not a high-value coin due to its condition, it still holds some worth, especially in the right market. The presence of the large date and the P mint mark can make it a bit more desirable, but that dirty condition does impact its price. That being said, if you're looking for a pristine example, you'd likely pay a lot more, often over $135 or more for one in excellent condition. But for collectors focusing on low-grade, circulated coins, this 1991 quarter still holds some value. So why doesn't this quarter fetch a higher price in its dirty condition? The key factors are condition and demand. Coins in poor condition, especially those with heavy dirt or wear, will typically sell for less because collectors are seeking out coins in better shape. Additionally, modern circulating coins, like the 1991 quarter, are more commonly found, so the demand is not as high as older or rarer coins. However, coins like this one, with certain characteristics, like the P mint mark, can still generate interest, especially among those focusing on collecting Washington quarters by year and mint mark. Why should you consider collecting a 1991 silver Washington quarter, even in dirty condition? Well, if you're a fan of collecting modern US coins, it's a great piece to have. For those looking to complete a collection of Washington quarters from the 20th century, this coin is an important part of the series. And for those who appreciate the historical context, the 1991 quarter was minted during the bicentennial era of George Washington's birth, which holds a special place in US. Also, as a low-cost coin, it's a good entry point for newer collectors who are just starting out and want to experience the thrill of finding a coin with history without breaking the bank. Before you add a 1991 Washington quarter to your collection, here are a few tips. Always check for mint marks and condition when evaluating the coin. If you have a quarter in dirty condition, try to avoid cleaning it, as that can further decrease its value. The best way to preserve it is by storing it in a protective holder to prevent any further damage. While the 1991 Washington quarter in dirty condition may not be the most valuable coin on the market, it's still a nice addition to any collection and a reminder that even modern coins can hold a bit of charm for collectors. Next up, we're diving into the value of a 1984 silver Washington quarter dollar with a large date and a D mint mark, but with a twist. This coin is in dirty condition, and we'll be looking at what that means for its value in the current market. Stay tuned. Let's start with a quick overview of the 1984 Washington quarter. This coin was part of the standard circulation series issued by the United States Mint. It features the famous image of George Washington on the obverse, with the eagle and shield on the reverse, designed by John Flanagan and Herman McNeil. Now, unlike the silver quarters produced before 1965, the 1984 Washington quarter is made of copper-nickel clad, so it doesn't contain the silver content that older Washington quarters are known for. Still, this coin is part of the Washington series, which is popular among collectors. So, what do we mean by dirty condition? A coin in dirty condition has visible grime, tarnish, or stains, which usually come from exposure to dirt, oils, or moisture over time. In the case of the 1984 quarter, you'll notice the coin looks worn with dirt buildup and possibly discoloration, which can affect both its appearance and life. While the coin remains authentic, it's important to note that this dirt can actually reduce its appeal to collectors, as they tend to prefer coins in cleaner, well-maintained condition. Now, let's talk about how the 1984 Washington quarter in dirty condition fares in today's auction market. The value of this coin in its current state is typically around $75,000 or more. While it's not a high-value coin due to the dirty condition, it does hold some worth because it's still part of the popular Washington quarter series. Keep in mind that even though it's not in pristine condition, a coin like this can still sell for a modest price at auction, especially if someone's looking to complete their set of Washington quarters from the 1980s. So, why doesn't this coin fetch a higher price? The key factors are condition and demand. Because the coin is in dirty condition, it's considered less desirable by collectors who focus on high-quality, well-preserved pieces. Additionally, the 1984 quarter is relatively common and not considered rare, which affects its market value. However, for someone interested in collecting circulated quarters or filling in gaps in a set of Washington quarters, this could still be a great addition to their collection at a very affordable price. Even with the dirt, the 1984 Washington quarter can still be a great collectible. If you're a fan of the Washington series, it's a nice coin to have in your collection. Plus, it's part of a historic series that spans decades of U.S. history, making it a worthwhile piece for those who appreciate the legacy of George Washington on U.S. coins. Even coins in circulated and dirty conditions have their charm, especially for collectors who enjoy looking at the progression of design and minting over the years. Before you add a 1984 Washington quarter to your collection, remember a few key tips. Always check the condition of your coins before purchasing. While dirty coins may be less valuable, they can still be good for completing a collection or for those on a budget. And remember, don't clean your coins. Cleaning them can cause more harm than good by further diminishing their value. So it's best to leave them as they are and store them properly. Next up, the 1988 silver Washington quarter dollar with a large date and P mint mark. This beauty is in extra fine condition, and we're going to explore what it's worth in today's auction market. So, if you're curious about its value, stick. Let's begin by talking about the 1988 Washington quarter. This coin was issued as part of the ongoing Washington quarter series, which has been in circulation since 1932. The obverse of the coin features a portrait of George Washington, the first president of the United States, designed by John Flanagan. On the reverse, you'll find the classic eagle design with the shield, designed by Herman McNeil. The 1988 quarter is made of copper-nickel clad, which means it doesn't contain any silver. But despite that, it remains a popular coin among collectors. Now, this particular coin features the large date variety. In 1988, the US Mint used a larger date style for the quarters, which makes it distinct from other years in the series. You'll also notice this coin has a P mint mark, indicating that it was minted at the Philadelphia Mint. While the P mint mark is fairly common for Washington quarters from this era, it still adds to the uniqueness of the coin and is important for collectors who focus on mint marks. So, what does extra fine condition mean? Coins in extra fine XOF condition show very light wear, but still have sharp, clear details, especially on the design elements. For the 1988 quarter, this means the Washington portrait is crisp and the eagle's feathers on the reverse are easily distinguishable with just a small amount of wear from circulation. Extra fine condition is a great place to be in the market. The coin still looks excellent and collectors appreciate the well-preserved details. So, what is the 1988 Washington quarter worth in today's auction market? In extra fine condition, this coin is generally valued around $6 to $10. It's not a high-value coin, but it's a nice price for a coin in this condition. While the 1988 quarter is not rare, the extra fine condition helps it stand out. But what factors influence the value of this quarter? Well, for one, condition is key. Extra fine coins have a nice balance of wear and preservation, which makes them desirable. However, the coin's value also depends on demand and market. The 1988 quarter isn't one of the rarest in the series, but because it's in extra fine condition, it appeals to collectors who want to complete their Washington quarter sets. Also, mint marks can make a difference. While the P-mint mark is common, certain collectors may still seek it for completeness, especially in well-maintained condition like this one. If you're thinking about collecting Washington quarters, here's a quick tip. Condition is everything. For example, this 1988 quarter in extra fine condition is a great piece to have in your collection. But if you're looking for higher value, you may want to aim for a coin in uncirculated condition or a rare mint error. And remember, don't clean your coins. Cleaning can damage them and decrease their value. Instead, store them properly and let their natural beauty show. Next up, the 1982 Washington quarter with a large date and D-mint mark in bad condition. Stick around as we dive into its value on the auction market today. Let's start by taking a look at the 1982 Washington quarter. This coin was struck as part of the Washington quarter series, which has been in circulation since 1932. The obverse features the classic portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. You'll also notice the large date style, a distinctive feature of quarters minted in 1982. On the reverse, we have the iconic eagle design with a shield, created by Herman McNeil. The D-mint mark tells us that this coin was minted at the Denver Mint. Now, let's talk about the large date variety. In 1982, the US Mint used two different date sizes, and the large date is the more common one. You'll find this large date on quarters minted that year, like the one we're discussing today. The D-mint mark on this quarter tells us it was produced in Denver. While not a rare mint mark, it's still important to collectors who track coins by mint mark. Now, when we talk about bad condition, we mean this coin has seen a lot of circulation. There's heavy wear on the details of both sides, especially on the Washington portrait, where much of the fine detail has been rubbed away. The reverse design also shows significant wear, with much of the eagle's feathers and the shield barely visible. Bad condition coins like this one often come with scratches, scuff marks, and discoloration that result from years of use and improper handling. So what is a 1982 Washington quarter in bad condition worth in the market today in bad condition? This coin is generally valued around $154,000. This isn't a high-value coin by any means, but considering that it's a silver coin, collectors may still find it interesting, especially for completing sets or as part of a circulated collection. While this coin isn't worth a fortune, its value comes mainly from its silver content and its role in completing Washington quarter collections. So what factors affect the value of this coin in bad condition? First, the condition is the biggest factor. The more worn a coin is, the less it's typically worth. But the mint mark and the date also come into play. The 1982 large date variety is pretty common, so even though this coin is silver, it's not considered rare. Coins in better condition or with rare mint marks will always be worth more, but for collectors on a budget, finding a 1982 Washington quarter like this one might be a great addition to their collection. If you're collecting Washington quarters, remember that condition really matters. If you're looking for high-value coins, you'll want to target ones in better condition, but even coins in bad shape like this, 1982 can have some value, especially if you're into collecting silver coins. And don't forget, never clean your coins. Cleaning can damage them and reduce their value. It's best to leave them in their natural state and store them in protective holders. So in today's auction market, the 1982 Washington quarter in bad condition is worth around $300,000. It's not a high-value coin, but it still holds some appeal to collectors, especially with its silver content. Next up, the 1966 Washington quarter without a mint mark, in very fine condition. Stick around to find out what it's worth in today's auction market. Let's kick things off with a quick overview of the 1966 Washington quarter. Struck in 19 silver, this quarter is part of the long-running Washington quarter series, which was first minted in 1932. The obverse of the coin features the well-known portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, and the reverse shows the eagle design by Herman McNeil. Unlike other years, the 1966 quarter does not have a mint mark on the obverse. This means it was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, as Philadelphia quarters from this era don't typically have mint marks. Now, let's take a closer look at what we mean by very fine condition. Coins in this condition show significant wear, but still maintain a lot of their original details. The portrait of George Washington is clear, but the finer details like the hair strands and the inscription may be slightly worn down. The reverse design, with the eagle and shield, is still well defined but may have some flattening of the feathers and the shield's detail. In very fine condition, the coin shows signs of age and circulation, but remains in decent shape for collectors who appreciate vintage coins that still hold a lot of character. So, how much is the 1966 Washington quarter in very fine condition worth today? In today's auction market, this coin typically sells for around $220,000. While it's not the most valuable Washington quarter out there, it's still a nice find, especially if you're looking to collect silver coins from this era. Remember, the value comes from both the silver content and the fact that it's part of a popular series. While the 1966 isn't a rare year, its silver composition and classic design still appeal to collectors. So what factors affect the value of the 1966 Washington quarter in very fine condition? The primary factors are condition, rarity, and demand. In very fine condition, the coin holds its value due to the silver content and the overall popularity of the Washington quarter series. However, since there's no mint mark, it's not as rare as some other quarters from different years or mints. Coins in uncirculated condition, or with rare mint marks such as proofs or S-mint marks, tend to fetch higher prices. But the 1966 is still a solid piece for any silver coin collector. If you're collecting Washington quarters or silver coins in general, the 1966 can be a great addition. Keep an eye on the condition of your coin, as it plays a huge role in its market value. Even though the coin may not be worth a lot in very fine condition, it's still an essential part of the series to protect the value of your coins. Consider storing them in coin holders or 2x2 holders to prevent further wear or damage. So to wrap up, the 1966 Washington quarter in very fine condition is worth around $260,000 on the auction market today. It's not a high-value coin, but it still has its appeal due to its silver content and... Next up, the 1980 Washington quarter series. Specifically, the 1980 Washington quarter with a large date and D-mint mark in extra fine condition. Stick around to find out what this coin is worth in today's auction market. Let's start with a quick overview of the 1980 Washington quarter. This coin was minted as part of the Washington quarter series, which has been in production since 1932. The 1980 quarter features the iconic portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, on the obverse, while the reverse showcases a classic eagle holding an olive branch and arrows, designed by Herman McNeil. Unlike some earlier years, the 1980 quarter comes in two versions, a large date and a small date. For this video, we're focusing on the large date version, which is more common. It also has a D mint mark, indicating it was minted at the Denver Mint. Now, let's talk about extra fine condition. Coins in this condition show minimal wear and their details are still quite sharp. On the 1980 Washington quarter, the portrait of George Washington remains crisp, with the facial features clearly visible. The reverse design of the eagle and the olive branch is well defined, with just a slight flattening of the details due to circulation. In extra fine condition, you can expect to see minimal signs of wear, making the coin look almost brand new with only slight imperfections around the high points, such as the hair or the eagle's wings. So, what's the value of the 1980 Washington quarter with D mint mark in extra fine condition in today's auction market? This coin typically sells for around $138,000. The price may vary slightly depending on factors such as overall demand, auction platform, and the specific condition of the coin. Even though the 1980 quarter isn't considered rare, the silver content and the D-mint mark still make it appealing to collectors. Plus, quarters from the late 20th century like this one have their own niche in the world of coin collecting. What factors affect the value of the 1980 Washington quarter in extra fine condition? First off, condition is key. Coins in extra fine condition are more desirable to collectors than those in average or lower grades. The mint mark is also important. While D is not rare, it still distinguishes the coin as coming from the Denver Mint, adding a touch of unique. Other things to keep in mind are the rarity of the date and the level of demand in the market. The 1980 large date isn't a particularly rare year, but its clean condition and D-mint mark still attract interest from collectors. And if you're looking to add the 1980 Washington quarter to your collection, it's a great piece, especially if you can find it in extra fine condition. While this coin may not be worth a fortune, it's still a valuable addition for those who collect silver quarters from the 20th century. To maintain its value, be sure to handle your coin with care. Consider storing it in a coin holder or holder to protect it from further wear and tear. So in conclusion, the 1980 Washington quarter with a D mint mark in extra fine condition is worth around $357,000 in today's auction market. While it may not be a rare or highly valuable coin, it still holds appeal for collectors due to its clean condition and silver content. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe for more coin value updates and collecting tips. See you in the next